Hello, I'm Jim Tolles. I'm a spiritual teacher. I blog at spiritualawakeningprocess.com and I share videos on my Jim Tolles YouTube channel. Today I want to talk about the human potential for power. Before I get going, just a quick reminder that I'll have links below this video, a way that you can sign up for a free newsletter and other interesting stuff down below. To talk about power, we have to redefine it, because most of what we think of power is really just control, coercion, manipulation. Most of the power that we see is attempts by the individual to try and get more things for him or herself. And so a lot of people are scared of power, don't want power, want to avoid power. And these types of things obviously cause a lot of suffering. So it's understandable why power can be very triggering, just to even talk about it. But true power comes from selflessness, comes from reality, where a lot of the power you see that goes on around the world is about maintaining some individual's fantasy about the things they want. They want more money. They want to be able to make people do things for them. They want to be able to get the sex and toys and cars and whatever else they think they want. Right? It's crazy. But in true power, we're not doing things to solely benefit ourselves, if we benefit at all. True power comes from that space of service and seeing what is necessary. Sometimes what is necessary requires self-sacrifice, that we help another at the benefit of ourselves. I think parents often understand this lesson, because getting up at 3 a.m. to clean up vomit from a young child doesn't really, serve them. They want the sleep, right? But it serves the child. It's what's needed in the moment. It's a powerful thing to do, right? The child feels cared for, and he or she grows up with that deeper sense that they're loved and that they're okay as they are and they can be who they are. Being a spiritual teacher is a powerful thing, because I don't make anyone do this, right? There's no manipulation or coercion. I can't. Many of you I will never meet in my entire life. But some of you will be inspired by what I say, to go within, to do this work, to be sincere, to be disciplined. And you'll transform your lives, and that's quite a bit of power for me to come from that space, to be able to inspire people like you in this way. And I'll never know. Right? So there's an element of true power doesn't control the results. In some respects, we'll never see the results or benefit in any particular way. And some things, I do obviously benefit from. But it's usually more from a practical sense of I need to pay my rent. But that's very different than I need a third yacht. And this is what we see in the selfish society and how people misuse their power. Whether it's a pop star who's super famous, buying that third yacht or the third mansion, using their power to get big money contracts and go on bigger trips and be in bigger movies or do bigger records, whatever, right? This ego is constantly trying to show how powerful, amazing it is. Doesn't really serve other people. They're not doing it for their audiences. They're doing it for themselves. And that's unfortunately one of the more benign examples I can give, because we can certainly look at people who run businesses in cruel manners to their employees, to the people they're ostensibly giving their products to. There's all sorts of different ways that businesses try to get people addicted to their products. because it keeps their profits going up. So this is what's really corrupted our understanding of power, and that's why I bring it up. But there are ways to be powerful that are not selfish, that are not based on this ego fantasy that I need to have certain things to be happy. Actually, in that space of selflessness, the power that arises, you really understand that you don't need very much. After the basics, most other things are pretty irrelevant. And that's powerful because it frees you from wasting your energy in things that you don't need to be doing. And when any of us acts from that power, just like wisdom, it impacts other people. Other people take notice. It's like, what do you mean you don't worry about going on your next vacation? It's like, well, one, I love where I am. I love what I do already. And I don't need to go anywhere to find more happiness, because happiness is within me. It comes and goes. I can go on a vacation I want or not. But some people live for vacations because they don't like where they are. They don't like who they are. They don't like what they do. Maybe they don't even like their families or their spouse. I mean, the list of things that their ego has gotten them involved in is terrible. And usually when people don't like these self-made fantasies, instead of taking ownership, they blame the people around them and they try to control them. There's lots of manipulators. There's all kinds of ways that power gets abused. And we know that so much more than the real potential we have for power. Our potential for that sort of true power that comes from selflessness is truly unexplored. Every now and then you see somebody who does a little in helping other people, and because of the state of things, they get elevated to practically sainthood. And it's not because they've even done anything that amazing. It's because of how often people are so stuck in selfish, controlling forms of power that it just makes any sort of kindness look like the most saintly, amazing thing ever. Any good spiritual teacher, any person who's been put into that sainthood category will tell you that this is simple, that you all have this power inside you if you want to claim it. And that's a choice. To do the inner work, to dissolve the ego so you can see reality. When you see reality, how you respond to life is powerful. It's like gravity. I like the gravity metaphor because you all know what it is. Just imagine, however, you don't believe in gravity and you think you can fly. Think of all the bad decisions you make in life, trying to make yourself fly when you can't. It causes a lot of suffering every time you jump. You jump harder and higher, and then you fall harder. The ego makes us do this. And then you blame. Maybe you're self-effacing and blame yourself, but often people like to blame others. Well, it was just like the wind was wrong, or you were staring at me in the wrong way. That's why the jump didn't work this time. It's like, no, it's because you don't see what's real. But when you do see what's real, you can account for reality. And if you account for reality, you can safely launch planes and rockets up and down. And that's kind of extraordinary, isn't it? It's very powerful when you see reality. You can go to the moon with that. You can go to Mars. You can do so many different things just by acknowledging a reality and then engaging in a meaningful way with reality. And perhaps in the selflessness side, we're not just like traveling for the sake of traveling, but we use the planes that we can safely get off the ground because we understand reality to deliver help and support to areas of the world that need it. How powerful is that? And we can stay engaged with them because, as I talked about in True Kindness, that other video, when we're engaged with other people's needs and we're being selfless, we can find out what they really need, and we deliver the aid that they need, not necessarily what we think they should have. So the power doesn't impose its ideas on others. It's curious. Cultivating curiosity is a great way to start to find your power and the deep potential within you to do extraordinary things. We really don't know how deep our power runs. Just like with wisdom, just like with true kindness. It's vast. It's something I can't encourage you all enough to explore. And that exploration comes through inner work, that the ego has to be dissolved. Things like kindness and wisdom, power, they almost seem to arise without trying as we break down the ego and the fantasies we live in. As we break down those fantasies, our desire to control and manipulate begins to fall away. Our attachments to certain results, whatever those results may be, how we look, being right, getting more stuff, getting more sex, having children, whatever we're attached to, like these things fall away. And you come into these states of acceptance and surrender that lead to service, that lead to seeing reality and engaging in ways that make sense without trying to impose anything upon what the reality actually is. From that power, we can guide different outcomes in society, but that comes later. Too often people try to skip over all the stuff I just said before to get to, well, when do I get to the guiding part? And plenty of wounded healers avoid their inner work and are just trying to be good people. See, power doesn't care about being a good person. None of the spiritual path cares about being a good person, because that's a set of beliefs that we try and impose on ourselves and on potentially on others, and they don't always work. And what one society considers to be good compared to the next changes, which shows us that this isn't a real thing. It's not a reality. It's just an idea that changes with the social weather over the generations. I'm sure as you're sitting here, you can think of some powerful people. And the ones that you really believe that are powerful, they were usually doing some really amazing things to help others. The people who have been dictators, been cruel, that sort of ego power is not interesting here. And we've had enough of it, don't you think? I'm not saying we're going to end it anytime soon. All I'm doing is I'm pointing to a much more amazing and truer form of power that resides in all of you.